Good morning everybody, my name is Crystal and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you like my videos, please smash that like button, please do subscribe. It is Thursday morning and it feels warm to me. I feel really hot. It feels warm in this flat, but outside it has been raining where I live. So it's been raining. So it's a difficult situation, isn't it? Well, clothes-wise, because I feel warm, but it's raining. I'm still gonna water our plants. A rose. Still gonna water the roses as well. But yeah, it's difficult because I feel warm. But it's warm inside this flat anyway. Probably outside it's a bit cooler, but I feel warm in here. It does get very warm inside this flat. I've got the cold air fan on as well. So yeah, good morning. Thursday. I've got the doctors tomorrow. Yeah, I've got the doctors tomorrow in the physical form, not over the phone. Alexa, good morning.
Good morning. On this day in 1929, the very first Academy Awards ceremony took place. Tickets cost $5, 270 guests attended, and the entire ceremony lasted only 15 minutes. Those were the days.
Alexa, what's the time, please?
Good morning, Crystal. It's 8:11 a.m.
Alexa, what's the date today?
It's Thursday, the 16th of May.
Alexa, what's the weather outlook?
Right now in Rochester, it's 12 degrees Celsius with fog. Today's forecast has showers, with a high of 17 degrees and a low of 9 degrees.
Alexa, can you tell me a joke?
Why did the banker quit their job? They lost interest.
Alexa, whose birthday is it today?
Today's famous birthdays include New Zealand actress Melanie Linsky, American actress Megan Fox, American singer, songwriter and actress from Indiana Janet Jackson, Irish actor, film producer, and environmentalist Pierce Brosnan, and Mexican-American actor Danny Trejo.
Alexa, how old is Janet Jackson?
Janet Jackson is 58 years old.
Janet Jackson is a similar age to me. I grew up with the Jacksons. So, Janet Jackson, I remember very well the album Control. So, I grew up with the Jacksons. You know, watching them on telly, performing, singing. So yeah, it's Thursday morning. I've got the doctors tomorrow. A mental and health check and a physical check. I'm afraid my mental health has gone through the roof just lately with being, tormented on a daily basis. It gets you down. So last night I took Max for a walk. There were skateboarders outside. Skateboarders up the top of the road. They're harmless enough. Just young lads skateboarding. there was a bloke like the guy upstairs hovering about, but those skateboarders were near him, so I didn't feel threatened or anything. Just normal people walking around on the field. There's been a couple for the past couple of nights just walking around the field together. A younger couple, not an old couple. And I had no messages at all from Flirt Finder. No disturbance at all yesterday. Completely peaceful and quiet it was, message wise. The only thing I'm getting now is when I go into Facebook. When I go into Facebook, I'm getting foreign guys call me up on audio call. There's a guy from Morocco, another guy and another guy. As soon as I log into Facebook, I'm being bombarded with phone calls. It's one guy from Morocco. So, I mean, you could be stalked from another country, you see. I don't know where this is coming from. It's still scary though, wherever it is. And you know, people can hop on planes and just come over to the country. You know what I mean? If it's someone foreign that's infatuated with me, do you know what I mean? So I took Max out for a walk. It does get hard to, because you do look over your shoulder. You do, thinking, who the hell is it? Or is that guy that came onto the field hovering about nearby? And it does put a strain on you. It's in the heat. You don't want to stay indoors. You don't want to stay indoors when it's excessively hot. But to keep safe, and that's what I've been doing. I do have to go out at times. Of course I have to go out. I mean, everybody does. I have to get my shopping and I have to get my electric and gas. And I want to, you know, you don't always want to stay indoors, do you? So there were fishermen, because it's like great for fishing, this area, Rochester, and Chatham is fishing. So you got guys fishing. I came back home because I'd gone out a bit later, so I came home and it was gone 8 o'clock, and I came back into the flat and I was just like out of it, tired, exhausted, mentally exhausted. It does it. I told you it has effects on you, like worrying who this is. And I was just exhausted. I mean, sometimes I'm just going out blind, just walking straight into it. Normally I'm checking the wind outside to see who's outside and trying to go outside when I don't see anybody. Yesterday I was bumping into people everywhere. My mum called last night. I don't know what she said, but she'll probably call later on this morning, so I tie those voicemails in together. Yeah, so this morning it's raining and it's dark and dreary, and Alexa says some places have got fog. Alexa, LBC Radio.
LBC London from Global Player.
Rating system for relationships, sex and health education in England, and American troops have anchored a temporary pier to a beach in Gaza to step up the delivery of humanitarian aid. LBC weather: cloudy with rain in central and eastern areas, sunny spells and showers elsewhere, a high of 22 degrees.
LBC Travel, I'm Joanne Webb on the M25. The roadworks continue both ways between junctions 25 at the A10 and 23 at South Mims, and as a result there are lengthy delays all the way back to the M11 at junction 27. Very busy on the M2 westbound from junction 6 at Faversham to 5 at Sittingbourne, and that's all down to an accident. Because of the fog, flights at London City Airport are disrupted. It's mainly arrivals that are disrupted, but there are still some delays for departures. London Tramlink services aren't running between Arena and Elmers End, and there are minor delays on the rest of the network. On the train, South Western Railway services are delayed heading into London between Guildford and Waterloo, and that's all down to an investigation.
This is LBC.
What to give Colin from the office for his birthday? Sure, you know how he feels about spreadsheet maintenance.
Nick Ferrari's on LBC Radio this morning. Nick Ferrari. I like Nick Ferrari. He's quite funny. I like keeping up to date with the news. Last night I was watching the television. I actually watched an episode of Coronation Street with Kevin Webster in it, and how the cast of Coronation Street are getting older. So I grew up with the characters Kevin and Sally Webster, and they're old now. So when I started watching Coronation Street, Kevin and Sally Webster were youngsters. They were like teenagers and in their early 20s. Now they're middle-aged and older. So wow, time is now flying. I just thought Kevin Webster looked really, really like worn out in Coronation Street. And David, the character David's in his 30s now. I remember him when he was a kid in Coronation Street. That character David, with that really, he looks all messy, doesn't he? David, the character David in Coronation Street. Well, I remember him when he was a kid in it. A naughty kid. So I remember the cast of Coronation Street. I think it began in the 60s, and I was born in 1968. And yeah, a lot of characters are dead. A lot of characters are getting older and older and older, and new characters are coming in, and you just feel yourself bloody getting old. Alexa, LBC Radio.
LBC London from Global Player.
LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
Right, time for those pledges in full. 8:21. I take you back to 1997 and that pledge card from Tony. By the way, if this persuaded you to vote for Tony Blair, if you were a floating voter, if you thought that these are the things that would make you decide to vote for the Labour Party, do tell me, and did he deliver? Just to remind you, and this is our job to remind you, by the way, here were his pledges in good Lord, it's more than a quarter of a century ago. Where does time fly when you're having fun? Cut class sizes to 30 or under for 5, 6 and 7-year-olds by using money from the Assisted Places scheme. Don't know how successful that was. Fast-track punishment for persistent young offenders by halving the time from arrest to sentencing. They did deliver on that. Cut NHS waiting lists by treating an extra 100,000 patients as a first step by releasing £100 million saved from NHS red tape. They did get the waiting list down. Get 250,000 under 25s off benefits and into work by using money from a windfall levy on the privatised utilities. I have to confess, I cannot recall the successor otherwise of that. No rise in income tax rates. Cut VAT on heating to 5%. And inflation in interest rates as low as possible. Those are rather sort of weird and wonderful words, aren't they? But did that help you vote for Labour? Did he deliver on those 5? And then, of course, there was Ed Miliband's, the famous Ed Stone. Indeed, one newspaper today, the Daily Mail, has even mocked up Sir Keir's pledges on an Ed stone or headstone. Ed Miliband's 6 were a strong economic foundation. What does that mean? Just think of those words. Higher living standards for working families. Again, what ultimately are you saying there? An NHS with the time to care. I mean, that's more like an advertising slogan, isn't it? That's not a direct promise. You can't hang your hat. Did you deliver? So have you delivered on an NHS with time to care? What were they thinking? Controls on immigration. Vacuous nonsense. What on earth is that? A country where the next generation can do better than the last. Well, you can say that all the time. There's always the can. What you need there is will, surely. Can, you can say any time, any point, any in the history of the country. Homes to buy and actions to rent. Do you know, when you revisit this Ed stone, it's even worse than I remember it all those years ago. It really was lamentable, wasn't it? So that was the Ed stone. Did they deliver on any of those? Well, they didn't get the opportunity because they didn't get into power. But they might have to deliver on the following. But again, ask yourself what these words actually mean as we go through them. Deliver economic stability. Okay, so what does that mean? Does that mean if wage growth is up but inflation is held, whatever? How many ways do you want to cut that? Cut NHS waiting times. Okay, I get that, and you're quite right not to put a number to it, but we can all see with that. Launch a new border command. Now this, friends, is risible. This is the idea of merging various agencies such as Border Force, the police, National Crime Agency into Border Command, and as I've told you more times than I can recall, as the policing maxim says, if in doubt, form a squad. That's all the Border Command is. Number 4, set up Great British Energy. Now again, I would argue, if you're trying to persuade someone to listen to you, how is that going to help Mrs. Jones in Clapham with her gas bill? What does that mean? Don't worry if you think it's rather expensive to turn the gas on. We're setting up Great British Energy. Great, another company I've got to pay for. Where's the impact of that? 5, crack down on antisocial behaviour. For the love of God, what does that mean? Is that the kid kicking the ball against my garden fence? Is he suddenly going to have the armed police come round, put up the helicopter and send in the Marines? What does it mean? Here's a number that you can hang your hat on. Recruit 6,500 new teachers. Well, again, and I note so often when I speak to Conservative politicians and they start talking about how they're going to introduce this measure for the economy or that measure for health or this measure for law and order, you remind me that where are the 40 new hospitals, where are the thousands of new police officers? Or I had to say that one, actually, I think they are hitting their target. But that is what happens with these pledges. So these 5 key pledges, you'll hear so much more of these through the course of the day, and I'm sure there'll be full coverage on LBC. And you'll be talking with it when you hear more from Sir Keir. And we'll take your views on those in just a second. Calls coming in. But I do need to go to a story we promised in the first hour, which is part of a devastating inquiry, or investigation, I should say, by one newspaper, The Eye, which has been very strong on quality of water, or should I make that lack of quality of water. And they point out today, UK's toxic water, illegal sewage, parasite in taps, and higher bills on the way. Now, people in parts of Devon have been given a warning to boil their drinking water after cases of an illness which causes diarrhoea were confirmed. Officials are investigating the cause of an outbreak of cryptosporidium as the disease caused by that parasite sweeps through the town of Brixham. And that's where we go now to join our Southwest correspondent, Andy Ballantyne. Andy.
Nick, concern, worry, frustration and anger from residents that they weren't either told or told early enough. I'm here at Broadsands Beach, where there's a steady stream of people picking up bottled water from this temporary station. So far, 22 confirmed cases of cryptosporidium, the waterborne disease caused by a microscopic parasite, but at least another 70 are being investigated. And with an incubation time of up to 10 days, more confirmed cases of the diarrhea illness are expected as visitors and more residents come forward. Well, earlier I spoke to Hannah from Gownton, queuing to get her bottles of clean water.
We were told it was safe to drink at the weekend, and we've been drinking it. We just started boiling it, and now we've been told we can only have bottled water. So it's just a little bit unsure about what's safe and what's not safe. So we're down here to collect some for some neighbours as well. Yeah, so what happens next, I think.
Well, South West Water issued a boil water notice after water tests showed small traces of the parasite were found. They also faced a huge amount of criticism for rejecting claims that the illness was even in the community. Well, I put that to South West Water's Laura Flowerdew, who is the Chief Customer Officer.
Well, the critical thing that we're focused is identifying where the source of the issue is coming into the network. However, we do know that public health is absolutely paramount, so we will be keeping this precautionary boil notice in place until we are assured that the water is safe to drink.
Well, in front of me there are 5 huge articulated lorry loads of bottled water. Residents, as I say, being urged to boil water, let it cool down before drinking it, preparing or cooking food or cleaning their teeth. Though the company said water can continue to be used as normal for washing, bathing and flushing the toilet. They've also apologised, Nick, for any inconvenience caused.
The Mighty Valentine reporting, Andy Valentine live on the scene in Devon. So, yet again, more pressure on various water companies. Still no real accountability. Vicky's in Tooting. Vicky, you want to talk water. What do you want to say? Good morning.
Hello, yes, Mr. Talbot. Hi, Nick. How are you?
Grand. You?
Yeah, not bad, thank you. Not bad. It's like I've been watching this. It's been unfolding on Twitter overnight, actually.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, I know you get like a lot of like rubbish like come out on Twitter, but then every now and again you get something like this, and it's like Brixton in Devon.
Yes.
And you go, they can't drink their own water.
No.
And it's like I paid a £400 Thames water bill last week.
Yeah.
And I got this message like last night, and I just brushed my teeth,
Yes.
and then it's nearly expired. And you're kind of like, because basically you're paying for the safety of your own water, yeah.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
You live in London. I live in
Yeah.
London.
Yeah.
I brush my teeth in tap water, and obviously I shower in tap water. I would not drink water from the tap in London, nor would I give it to a guest in my house. Do you?
Well, I drink tap water, but not after this.
Mm.
So basically, it's kind of like it's compromised of like trust. And I paid £400 for like Thames water last week, yeah?
Mm.
So that I get more water, and I'm wondering whether I'm showering like effluent.
Well, showering doesn't bother me that much. Yeah, I mean, I don't particularly want to shower an animal or anybody else's effluent, actually.
No, it's not grand, is it?
No, but would you? And you're quite happy to drink a glass of tap water out of your tap, obviously out of your tap in the kitchen. You'll drink that.
Well, when you think about it, you know, Margaret Thatcher. It wasn't Margaret Thatcher that introduced fluoride to the tap water.
Oh, yes. There we are. I mean, she's not going to sue, is she? Yes.
Everyone was a little bit like funny about that, yeah. But we've all still got our own teeth, so she wasn't doing something wrong there.
No, she wasn't. Vicky, thanks for getting started on this. I'm grateful. We'll come back to this. I must read some of the reactions coming in on these